Pops was speaking at a conference in Minnesota, and one afternoon the students from the local Bible school asked if there could be a question and answer session. After the compulsory game of softball, of course. Pops hoped the questions were going to be about football, real football, or rugby, or even cricket, but they turned out to be serious questions. He'd wanted to tell them that softball was like the game that English girls played called rounders, but alas, the moment had passed. Out of all the questions that were asked, there was only one that Pops remembered later. What will happen to those people who have never heard of Jesus? Pops felt he had been hit by a cricket ball, harder than a softball, of course, and the room became very quiet. After some time, his answer was, "I don't know, but we must go and tell them." That was the last conference Pops ever preached at. Later that evening, he said to himself, if I wasn't the speaker here, then these incredible people could get somebody far more able and far better qualified than me, and they would do a better job. From now on, I'm going to speak to the lost. When Pops arrived home, the first thing he said to Nana, well, nearly the first thing, was, "We must do the work of an evangelist." "How?" asked Nana. "I don't know yet," Pops replied. So the church prayed and decided that Pops would go and see an evangelist that they had heard good things about. Pops came back very excited. "He's brilliant, just the man for us." So it was arranged that the evangelist would come down to Leamington with his big tent for 2 weeks in August. The church knew exactly where they would put the tent, in the part of town where all the punks, the real punks, hung out, complete with chains, braces, boots, and the parrots on the top of their heads. This was going to be great, thought Pops. A church full of punks couldn't wait. Everything was arranged, and posters, flyers, invitations to all the other churches to come and help. Then 2 weeks before the great day, the evangelist telephoned Pops to say that he was very sorry, but it was going to be impossible for him to come. "Well, can we still have your tent?" Pops asked. "Sorry, that also has to be somewhere else. But don't worry, I'm sure something will turn up." "That's all right for you to say, mate," thought Pops. With some difficulty, he put the phone down rather than throw it out the window. But realising his heart was not quite as pure, loving and forgiving as he thought it was, then he repented. Pops has still a lot to learn about the ways of God. Although he didn't know it, this was going to be the means of pushing Pops out of his comfortable nest and learning to trust God and fly without any ropes attached. Scary. When Pops told the church the news, they all said, "You will have to be the evangelist, Dave." "But I'm not an "You are now," they all shouted. When the laughing finally stopped, the next question was, where do we get a marquee from? The answer, of course, was the same as always. We need to pray. So all Friday, Saturday and Sunday the church prayed. Pops was now a self-employed hog carrier and labourer, and for the last couple of weeks had been working for a friend who was a builder. By the way, please don't ask Pops what a hog carrier is, as he will only have to climb up the ladder with a load of bricks to show you he can still do it, and he can't. First thing Monday morning, Pops's first job was to carry bags of cement out of the store, but he was finding it difficult because of a load of huge bags and poles that had appeared over the weekend. "What are those big bags and all those poles?" Pops asked his friend Jim. "I've never seen them before, and they weren't there last week." "Oh, they came Saturday. It's a big marquee. I'm storing for a friend who wants to sell it." "Why, do you want to buy it?" "Yes," said Pops immediately. "How much is it?" £2,000 and it's yours." So, as the church was praying, God was answering. All the church needed now was £2,000.